Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today, wherever you are in the world? A huge shout out to you. I hope you're keeping safe and I hope you're keeping well. To my Australian viewers, particularly in my home state of New South Wales, we do have the Delta variant breaking out. The greater majority of Australia's population are not vaccinated. We've had a slow and halting vaccination rollout due to putting most of our eggs in the AstraZeneca bucket. And now we don't give that in Australia to anyone. We only give it to over 60, which discounts a lot of our population. So we've got this Delta strain gathering steam in Australia. I noticed there are warnings also for America, which I think you have 45% of your population vaccinated, that in those states, largely red states that where you have vaccination resistance, there could be, come winter, a breakout of this Delta strain. I hope not. I really do. So when I say a huge shout out to you and I hope you're keeping safe, I really do mean it. We are still in the middle of a pandemic. Okay, for those that are worried, I've had my first shot of AstraZeneca and I will be wearing a mask. Go back to the mask wearing days when I'm indoors. Even though I'm not legally required to yet, I'm going to just be that extra cautious. So, where do I need to start? I'm just going to do a general Q&A today. I've got a lot of viewers' questions from the election in 2022 in France through to we'll take a look at where Boris Johnson in the UK is. The Tories have recently lost a seat to the Liberal Democrats. In the past, I have seen that it's possible that at the next election a coalition will form against the Tories and take power. Could that be Labor and the Liberal Democrats? I don't know. We can ask if we get time. The breaking news, of course, which has got a lot of Democratic voters really down in the dumps, is the voting rights legislation was voted completely down by the GOP, not even allowing any vote. 50-50 was the response. And of course, there are renewed calls to abolish the filibuster. That isn't going to happen given Kirsten Sinema of Arizona released an op-ed on the day that the legislation was voted down, saying that the filibuster should stay. Manchin, of course, is going to bring forward his own, what he calls bipartisan voting rights legislation. Obama has backed that. Stacey Abrams has backed Manchin's bill. But, of course, Mitch McConnell has come out and said, no way are we going to allow Manchin's bill through. So we can ask about Manchin's bill. Will it get some bipartisan support? But I guess we look to the courts to overturn those unconstitutional voter suppression laws where they are unconstitutional at the state level. And of course, the Democratic Party via Mark Elias is taking that fight up to the court. So it's anything could happen between now and then, because Biden has asked for something to be come forward in order to get that through. Whenever I've read on voting rights in the past, I get very good cards. So according to me and my intuition, you're not done yet, okay? Voting rights could be protected in a way that we can't envisage at the moment. Okay, let's get started on some underlying energies. Yes, and the other breaking news was that the Manhattan DA's office is going after Trump's bodyguard, Matthew Calamari, who has been promoted from bodyguard to chief operating officer. So he's now the chief operating officer at the Trump organization. According to Ari Melber, yes, I do watch Ari Melber's show, this bodyguard apparently knows where all the bodies are being buried. So if they can't get Weiselberg to flip, they're working on this Matthew Calamari. So it's hotting up. They're saying indictments could fall as early as next month. Let's get started. All right, so underlying energy for the week, or for the next few days. What are the key messages that my viewers need to hear at the time they're watching, please, for the next few days? So I'm getting a pull to the Judgment card. Let's see what happens throughout this reading. The Judgment card, of course, is an inevitable ending. Now, we've got the curse here. Some of us could feel that our human condition, the current state of play globally, in France, the far-right candidate Marine Le Pen is ahead of Macron, the current president. We could be forgiven for thinking that we're not going to prevail in some way, that this far right extremism will still, we haven't seen the last of it. But the curse, this is around really stymieing your voice. There is a hand over the mouth here, and this is a signal to break that curse, to step forward and use your voice in whatever way you can. That's how work gets done. One of my viewers said, can we have some solutions? As though, I could magically produce solutions. It's up to each and every one of us to find solutions. I can only guide, I can only steer, I can only put context around events, whether they be political, astrological, spiritual. It's up to you when you get that context to look at ways forward. Now, I go back to Mark Elias, a tireless fight through the courts, Democratic Party lawyer, to overturn what is unconstitutional. It's about calling your senators, putting real pressure on the Senate, or whatever country you're in, contacting your representatives, organising where you can, protesting if that is the thing that you can do, peaceful protesting. Whatever is needed, the work doesn't stop. And I am reminded, someone asked me about soul reclamation, which came up in my last reading. How do we do that? We do that with examination of our shadow sides. What are the continuing patterns that we keep bringing forward that produce the same results, or worse, give rise to more negativity? We keep digging for the truth until we have exposed it, and almost like renewing that allowing for new growth. You won't get new growth in spoilt soil, in soil that isn't right for that dynamic growth. So you continue to do the shadow work. And when you've done that shadow work and you've got that truth out, and you are no longer triggered, you can see it for what it is, then you're going to be less inclined to be divisive. And where we think that one side is all bad and we're all good, that's an indication that there needs to be shadow work done. We need to check ourselves. Are we bringing forward constructs of our own insecurities and pushing them onto other people? It really is being totally honest with yourself, and then once you're in that honest frame of mind, then you can start to bring forward your compassion and start to activate the heart chakra, and things change. So if we were looking at what is happening in the US, for example, and I maintain what's happening globally with this rise of the extremists, we have to understand why our so-called enemy is our enemy. And this is what the Pluto return, the US Pluto return, is all about. It's about doing that deep dive, exposing the truth, and bringing forward healing. And that's not going to be done overnight. So I know a lot of people are triggered But what did you expect? That voting rights legislation, Mitch McConnell signalled it wasn't going anywhere, because the only way they can hang on to power is through suppression, is through manipulating around the edges of the law to turn things in their favour. So they're clearly not going to come forward and support this bill. However, I would say this. They might think they have the upper hand today, but if you start to fiddle around with democracy, firstly, you disenfranchise your own voters and your own voter flexibility rights by disallowing certain times, and then you're hurting your own voters. And secondly, you're disenfranchising independent and other voters who want their democracy upheld. So they may have the upper hand today, but let's not get too carried away with it, because I keep getting those good cards for voting rights. Okay, back to the energy, the rattle. Yeah, this is about clearing the space of negativity. If we're in this frame of mind, staying in it, becoming stuck in it, is not healthy. It's not healthy for you, and it's not healthy for progress generally. So it's about clearing, doing the shadow work, clearing the space of negativity, and then moving forward with a renewed purpose. We've got a lot of fours here. This is foundational work. And the Time Master, it is what we're seeing now, whether that's in your own individual circumstances or at the global level. We're seeing something that is a product of our time, is a product of our evolution. And really sometimes answers can be found in the past. We think of prediction as going forward in the future. I'm just getting a pull to sometimes answers can be found in the past. Not everything historically should be considered negative. There are some things that have occurred in the past, like unity, for example, that we need to think about. The Time Master, one more. The Blade, the truth. Okay, the truth will literally set us free. This blade is cutting away, can also be cutting away from the past as well. Thinking outside the square. Not presuming, and perhaps this is the GOP, presuming that it's all going to go their way in a changing world. But back to the shadow work and the US Pluto return. It's about exposing the truth, because that is the only way that all eyes can look upon something and gain agreement. And once that happens, or the majority of eyes can look at the truth and see it. Once that happens, then we can move forward and allow the space for compassion. The Tree of Life, I am reminded that much of what is going on is about life. It's a if we look at it, the macro, what we're seeing at the macro level is a microcosm of what we see in life. Unhealthy relationships, insecurities on our part, reoccurring patterns and themes, wanting to come up with solutions. Yes, the solutions are within you. So as I said earlier in the week on another forum, the contract between you and me is one of you finding the solutions, me providing a context, perhaps some support, and also ideas, generating ideas. And there's a lot of good ideas on this forum. People bring them forward all the time. Seek out those that have ideas and start to think about them yourselves. Take action, and whatever you do, don't get stuck in that first card I pulled. Don't get stuck there. Okay. All right, let's move on to the political tarot. So let's have a look, just a quick pull overall. Where to now with voting rights? With a federal bill or federal action, where to now? Can you show me what will be next for voting rights, please? What will be next? So it's a process, I'm hearing. The emperor, the president. So Biden is going to do something. I'm not sure what he can do with executive authority, but that's where they're going with this. The challenge, or his power to control this, is challenged by the residual energies of the past Trumpian years, of the cycle. The number 10, the ending of a cycle. It's all a challenge to him, and it's a challenge to all of us. The 5 of Cups. Okay, right now people are literally grieving that no GOP supported this. There's a lot of spilt milk. There's a lot of, and there's going to be a lot of resentment and anger calling for the abolition of the filibuster. Now, we've got in the past the Hanged Man. This is stalled for the here and now, and it was stalled before it even got to the Senate floor. And that's what I want to bring forward. It was stalled. This current iteration, this current trajectory was stalled before it even got to a vote. It didn't even get to a vote. Didn't even get to debate. The 9 of Wands. There's a need for boundaries now. Okay, not being led by the nose, by the GQP. There's a need for boundaries and clear thinking and clear heads. And also saying no in some way to them. Pushback. A little bit of pushback is needed. The 7 of Swords, duplicity. This is lies as well. The GQP will now try and reinvent the narrative around voting rights, because Vice President Kamala Harris has come out and said that we are not, this isn't a Democratic Party thing, this isn't a Republican Party thing, this is an American democracy issue here. But you're going to have the GQP spinning. 10 of Pentacles in the here and now. A lot of dark money behind the current GQP, which is my acronym for the Grand QAnon Party. The 10 of Pentacles, you'll find a lot of dark money behind this push against voter rights. 5 of Wands. So also we've got polarization and partisanship. Big money and partisanship here as the current impact on this question. 10 of Cups in the hopes and fears is the voter, my card for the voter. So again, the GQP fear ramifications from this. It's not all negative. Now, there is a state that actually expanded voter rights, and which one is it? I can't remember. There is one state that shows everybody how it can be done. So look for the positives. It's not all negatives. So Princess of Swords. So we have a truth coming forward. Also action on a truth. And we've got the King of Swords. So this is air energy. The President Biden will move forward with something. And I'm not quite sure what it is. This is also court. The DOJ has already bumped up its voter suppression unit, voter rights unit. I think there's going to be pretty significant litigation in the courts. That's what I'm feeling now. It'll be a priority. Now we have the Prince of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups. So we have an offer here. We have the 4 of Swords, retreat. And we have the High Priestess, something still being formed. So this leads me to Manchin's bill. Will he get any sort of support for it? Is it still even going to be brought forward? Does this lead to a support to break the filibuster? Okay, so Manchin's bill. Joe Manchin's voting rights bill, watered down version, but nevertheless containing some real reforms like a public holiday on voting day, which means that everyone could get to the polls. Okay, so that would be one thing, wouldn't it? Declare a public holiday on election day. Okay, that might even be what the president's going to do. It would stop a lot of voter suppression in its tracks. I wonder. Okay, let's ask that. Does Biden even have the power to do that? Will they declare election day, federal election day, a holiday? He's just declared one holiday. The Fool card, which is a yes card. I think this might be where we're going with this. The Six of Pentacles, giving and receiving help. We have the King of Cups at the foundation. He's going to come forward with something. Watch this space. Here's my judgment card. An inevitability about something. Okay, that's in the past. I'm getting quite excited. The Ace of Cups, a new start. This is the positivity around voting rights that I'm seeing. And the Ace of Pentacles. Two aces. Yes, 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 yes. It's an inevitability that the Democratic Party will do something within their power to open up and overcome a lot of those voter suppression moves by the GQP. And I think it's going to be, I don't know, it's something bold anyway. It could be like declaring a public holiday or putting something into an executive order that allows people in the midterms to go and vote. Okay. Interesting. All right. What's going to happen with Manchin's, Joe Manchin's voting rights bill? What's going to happen? I just see something positive occurring. What's going to happen with Joe Manchin's voting rights bill? Will it get bipartisan support? The Tower, not likely. Challenged by the Magician, manifestation. I'm going back to the commission here. Prince of Cups, an offer put on the table. Seven of Cups, of course, loss, dwelling on loss, that's in the past. Seven of Pentacles as the potential, go back to the drawing board, that's in the sky. And we've got the Prince of Pentacles. They may agree to something, but it's not going to be, that's the Knight of Pentacles. It's not going to be huge, but it could be something. It could be something, and they're not giving up here. Let's pull a full Celtic cross. They're working already on this. They're working already. Six of Swords, the environment around, moving out of troubled waters. Everyone knows this has to be done. Hopes and fears, of course, partisanship. The outcome card, there's a leaving people out in the cold, a loss, not allowing them in. Two of Pentacles, walking that tightrope. I think it's down to, and the Ten of Wands, too hard. I think it's down to some kind of action on the part of Biden, something simple but very effective. We'll see what that is. They may allow one thing, but ultimately Manchin is disappointed. And why? We've got this huge toxicity exposed. Again, if we go back to the overarching cards, it's like that blade has to cut away and the truth to be seen. All right, before we get too much into this reading, let's go to France. Now, Macron, they've already done some pre-polling for 2022. I think it's a little bit far away. Polls can change. Macron is sitting on about 26%. Marine Le Pen around 27%. She has more recently had a lift in the polls. Of course, perhaps Russia is again meddling here. Marine Le Pen visited Russia. Putin could be up to his old tricks again. All right, let's have a look. Will Macron keep the presidency in 2022? Will Emmanuel Macron, the current French president, keep the presidency in 2022? Four of Cups is disappointment as a signifier card. Challenged by endings and beginnings. Wow. That's not looking good for Macron. Five of Swords, there's some kind of abuse here. There may be a perception that he has abused his power in some way. In the past, there was a tenuous nature to his presidency, if I recall. We've got the Lovers in the sky. So, again, this could be, who is a Gemini? It's in the sky anyway. Pacts, commitments, winning people over. Okay. Moderation and healing. Okay. So right now, he picks up pretty negative cards, but they're getting a bit better. Well, I shouldn't say that. Seven of Cups we've got in the here and now. He's feeling it. He's feeling this loss, but the environment around is a new start. People wanting that new start. The hopes and the fears is Sun. They want happiness. They want to have their rights looked after. They want to be included. They don't want to be left behind. And we have the Devil as the outcome. Quite toxic, celebrating toxicity. This is a third party outcome as well. I would say right now, yeah, Four of Swords, retreat and wounded in battle. Right now, and we're too far out from the 2022 election. Right now he's in trouble. If there was an election held today, that he would be in trouble. Six of Swords, though, is at the base of the pack. So we've got moving out of troubled waters. As I said, this is just an interim reading. The energy would indicate Nine of Pentacles, although that could be a female, Princess of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. Right now, I think people would like change. I hope things change in the lead up to 2022. Let's look at the Tories. They lost to a Liberal Democrat. They lost one seat. It took them by surprise. The member was a long-standing Tory party representative who I think she retired, or they might have put in a new candidate. I'm not sure. Anyway, suffice to say the Tories lost the seat. Six of Wands, we've got victory. All right, so let's have a look. Will the Tories win? No, I'm going to rephrase that. Will there be a coalition government made up of Labor and Liberal Democrats at the next election? Will a coalition government be formed at the next election? This is how I think it's going to go, yeah. The King of Cups, nurturing. Challenged by people feeling like they've been betrayed, that there hasn't been that nurturing. The mood in the UK, I think there's a lot of blame being generated. The Fool, looks like we're getting new starts. The Three of Pentacles, in the past, it can be more than one party here, rebuilding with more than one player. In the sky, we have the Princess of Wands, a new start. Moving forward, the Lovers coming together, making a pact, like a marriage. The Three of Cups, I think they're already doing this now. Three of Cups, there's some kind of third party situation, or maybe three parties coming together. They're moderating the Tories. I don't, my UK viewers, please let me know. There seems to be more and more of a vote to moderate Tory decisions. In the hopes and fears, is quite under the surface. There's quite a lot of emotion here. We've had Brexit. We've had all sorts of things. So the outcome card is the Eight of Wands, which is things moving very quickly. I think it's 2024, so there's a way to go. But we'll see this kind of trend coming out in by-elections. The Three of Wands. This is, again, maybe foreign policy won't have, I think they might fall. The Tories might be taking a back step on their foreign policy, but this is also waiting for your ship to come in. That can be the wait now, between now, 3 years, and 2024. And we've got the High Priestess, something coming to fruition. Yeah, there's going to be the economy, people left out or feeling like they've been left out of the economy. The Princess of Pentacles and wanting wanting, being disenfranchised and wanting more. This can also be dissatisfaction with the health system. The King of Swords, so we have an air energy here. There's a Gemini influence. Also, our other air signs, could be any of the air signs. We've got the Ace of Cups, new starts, and the wanting more abundance. So I think that there could be, I mean, it is a long way away, but there could be a trend toward a coalition government in the UK next time around. Okay, let's just get to the bodyguard and we'll finish things off. All sorts of speculation that he knows where the bodies are buried. Okay, Trump's bodyguard now, the chief chief financial officer? Calamari. Let's have a look. Are they going after him and why? Why are prosecutors going after Trump's former bodyguard, now his chief operating officer? Why are they going after him? What would make them go after him? Yeah, so what I'm getting is like a gondola image, with him being the person that's steering or moving the gondola forward. That would tell me that he was present. They know, they have information from somebody who's already flipped that he was present at a key conversation. Yeah, the Queen of Cups, something to be revealed. They want him to corroborate this conversation. Challenged by the Eight of Cups. Will he reveal it? Well, there's going to be loss for him if he doesn't. So they're really putting that pressure on him now. The Ten of Wands, for him, I think, and also this investigation, it's been extremely difficult. It's been a long, hard road to even get this far. I think he knows there's loss here. And he may even know what's in store for him if he doesn't flip. The Prince of Swords, the potential is that he will. This is the Knight of Swords, a truth emerging. Oh, yeah. Also, it could be have been a conversation around money, hiding money as well. All the devils at the base of the pack. He's got information. He was present at a conversation. It's a key conversation and it had something to do with money. Right now, he's facing his Waterloo. But the environment around is the King of Pentacles, Trump the businessman. So again, the pressure coming from Trump not to flip. But he fears the truth emerging and his part in the truth. They've got something on the bodyguard. So he's defending himself. So the Tower. This guy knows stuff. And the Queen of Swords. Could even be about women as well. They've already got the information. They just need it corroborated. The Devil is at the base of the pack. These are pretty horrible cards. But then again, Trump's a pretty horrible person, isn't he? And we don't know the half of it. The Magician card and Russia could be a conversation about where money is being hidden. Prince of Cups and the Hermit card isolated. So, will he flip? He's defending himself at the moment. Trump's in there trying to stop. Let's clarify that's 7. He might even be charged with something before he does flip. Like Weiselberg, they might leave it till the last minute to flip. Will this bodyguard flip? Now Chief Operating Officer, will he flip? Calamari. Flip eventually. 7 of Wands again. So, no, he's going to defend himself. The Emperor. Control. And the King of Wands. No, I think it'll go all the way to a charge. But we've got the Trump organisation here. Prince of Pentacles, yeah. Okay, so he was a servant, a loyal servant. The Six of Wands is victory. That's the underlying energy, and the Chariot. It could be that they do charge him with something and that he flips post that, but he knows stuff. He knows a lot of stuff. Okay, I'll leave it there because it's rather a long reading, but anyway, you can siphon it off and just watch bits and pieces of it at your leisure. But yeah, I would say look up, not look down. I feel that there's going to be a breakthrough with voting rights. I'm not sure how that's going to happen, but I still feel quite positive about that. So let's see. Let's see. All right. Thank you for tuning in.